Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and this is the show where we review horror movies from basically the 60s through now. Because my son, Jason, here has been a fan of horror movies since I first allowed him to watch one, because I'm a good father at age 5.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was a made-for-TV movie, but it was still a horror movie, and the original It miniseries has scared quite a few people.
Yeah, to this day.
True. Especially if they have the fear of clowns and stuff. Anyway, scariest thing this week is your hair. But anyway, this week we decided to finish our trilogy of reviews for the Human Centipede film series. Because with quality like this, it is not a movie, it is a film.
Right. In case you didn't pick up on that, this week we're reviewing ATM. The Human Centipede 3.
Yes. And for those who are not in the know about these movies...
You're welcome.
The content may get a little TVMA more than other episodes that we've done.
That's why we have the rating, but...
When you describe
if you're still watching now, go away.
Definitely don't let kids watch, because just discussing it, even without using foul language... There are things that we'll be describing that are inappropriate for younger viewers. If you're sensitive to certain topics, this is definitely not the episode to watch.
And in 2018, if you're a high school age person, you might not be able to handle it either. So grab your teddy bear now.
But anyway, no, in all seriousness, if you get easily offended, just describing this movie, probably not the best one for you to watch.
And if you don't leave after we've warned you.
We don't want to hear any complaints, because it's on you. Anyway, before we get too far, what would you say the story, quote unquote, is? So,
the story is, there was this movie called The Human Centipede, where this doctor stuck 3 people together. Butt, from one butt to the next mouth, it's a little centipede thing.
And then they made a second movie
and
where
the first
a
one
crazy
existed.
person... Yeah, the first one existed in the second one.
And a mentally handicapped guy who worked the night shift
tried to do the same thing.
Decided to do it too. And in this one, those 2 things exist. And
as movies.
And someone decided, that's a great idea, let's do it.
To punish prisoners. And, yes, so basically a warden and his co-worker decide to use it as a punishment for a prison full of inmates. And that's basically the premise. We'll get into more of the gory details as we go along, but before we get into the meat and beef, as you say, of the show, why don't we
throw it to that
the
2 minutes of appropriate footage we found.
I believe in bringing back medieval torture methods.
Our prison has the highest violence rates, legal and medical costs than any other institution in the U.S. correctional system. Things will have to change fast. I think I have a solution. No more prison fights. No more assaults on guards. No more disrespect. We've got to make a human centipede of our prisoners. They will literally be on their knees begging for your mercy. It's brilliant. Mr. Tom Six, creator of these films, claims that it's 100% medically accurate.
I don't speak with a stupid filmmaker about his poop fetish. What do you think, Doc?
It looks medically accurate. I don't see why someone couldn't survive a lifetime.
Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
This is a violation of human rights. It's certainly a violation of federal ethics. You insane freaks will get the death penalty.
This is beyond medieval torture, beyond castration, the ultimate correction. First human prison, Centipede.
This is exactly what America needs.
I like that. Politically incorrect.
Yes. Well, the first one was 100% medically accurate. The second one was 100% medically inaccurate, and this one was 100% politically incorrect.
Good.
Anyway, let's give a shout out to our sponsors who actually had the guts to sponsor
This movie.
this movie for our review. Because let's be honest, like, it takes guts to want to sponsor this show when we're discussing this film. So let's get to these real daring sponsors. Gory Storytime is brought to you by Six's Sacks of Six Snacks. The only snacks from the mind of Tom Six. The order comes with chocolate starfish with peanuts, a jar of jerky made from exotic meats from Africa, a 12-ounce box of glazed Cheerios, Mexican-style meatballs, German sausages, and all the fixins for a poo-poo platter. That's Six's Sacks of Six Snacks. With code GST, you'll receive a bottle of Six's Texas barbecue sauce.
Oh, yum.
Also by...
Excuse me. And by Tom's of Hollywood mouthwash. Don't you hate it when you wake up and your mouth tastes like crap? Does your significant other say your breath smells like ass? Then try Tom's of Hollywood. Tom's is 100% organic and guaranteed to leave your mouth tasting and smelling cleaner than it has ever been. Order now and get 2 bottles free to share when you order one for yourself. That's Tom's of Hollywood.
Okay, now let's get into the behind-the-scenes information for this
Film.
Yes. Would you like to go first, or it doesn't matter?
I guess I will.
Go ahead.
In all 3 Centipede movies, Peter Blankenstein plays a character who is considered for the Centipede, but dies before he can actually be added. I didn't even notice that.
Both Dieter Laser and Lawrence R. Harvey, who portrayed villains from the first and second movie, Dr. Hyder and Martin, are featured in this film as different characters. The main characters.
The 2 that you see in the trailer talking back and forth a lot.
Yes.
At an hour and 40 minutes, this film stands as the longest human centipede film.
The longest human centipede. Ironic, isn't it?
I mean,
Really?
it is.
Akira Kitamura played Katsuro in part 1 and Inmate 333 in part 3.
Right.
He would be the Japanese fellow, I'm assuming, from the first one?
I think so, yeah. Tom Six has regarded this to be the sickest human centipede film.
Which says a lot.
Yeah, especially coming from him.
Let's see. Bill Hutchins, the actor who played Dr. Sebring in part 2, also played Inmate 488 in part 3. So a lot of people were willing to come back after they were in other episodes.
Sequences.
Sequences, yes.
As this is the 3rd movie in the series, the artwork for the movie shows the human centipede arranged into the number 3.
Which is different than this poster.
No?
Oh, I guess it's kind of a 3. Yeah,
That's what that meant.
I guess. Yeah. Let's see. In the scene where the inmates are made to watch the first two films, when they shout out things, they're shouting out real reviews of the first two films. So in other words, Tom Six went through reviewers' quotes and had the inmates shout those out as reviews of the movie. That's sick. That kind of stuff is like, yeah, we're actual.
Wow.
Awesome.
Only one billed female in the whole cast. There's another female as a driver.
I'm guessing it would be the secretary.
Well, probably.
I mean, she's the main female in this one. But to be fair, it's a men's prison. There's not a lot of females in it, except for the secretary.
Actually, you're right.
I mean, it would be weird if there was a lot of women. Dwight's Texas accent drops significantly at several moments, notably when pronouncing the word can't, while looking out the office window as he talks to Bill Boss. I'm not going to say with his German accent that he naturally has and trying to put on a Texas accent what the word can't ends up sounding like, but it doesn't sound correct.
I think the trailer even said it was incorrect.
Politically.
Yeah.
So.
In the end, when he...
Yeah, I know. I tried to fix
these people. Okay. In the end, when he shot himself in the head, the bullet of the Magnum pistol didn't leave any mark in the wall.
That's a goof. It should have had a,
right.
When the boss strangles the tattooed inmate to death, you could still see the inmate breathing. That happens in a lot of movies. In the background, you'll see a dead person's chest rise, and because it turns out no matter how good an actor you are, you have to breathe to keep living. So, yeah. Some people can breathe shallower than others, and it's less noticeable, but...
Well, and if you can hold your breath for 10 seconds.
I suppose. Depends on how long the scene goes.
Well, they can cut and edit because it's a movie.
So, we didn't have a lot of behind-the-scenes information because there isn't a lot available. They used up a lot of info with the first two.
Yeah.
The Rotten Tomatoes score.
So the critics have it at a wicked high number for what I expected, actually. An 18%.
And you said it was, 10 for the people, which is weird that the critics would have it higher than the people.
I'm
Because
surprised that they would have...
This is definitely the
something-
kind of movie that you would think the people would have it higher than the critics and still be low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes a very specific sense of humor to watch the things that happen in this film.
And then go back for the second
enjoy it.
one.
And the third
and then
one.
the third one.
Yeah.
And potentially...
Yeah. There's rumors of a fourth one, but who knows?
Well, who knows? Because it was called The Final Sequence.
Yes.
But how many final sequences have there been? And then have there more movies?
Oh, yeah. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
And then there were more.
They had Jason ones where it was the final Friday, Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And
then wasn't there
a couple since.
Saw, the final chapter or something like that, and then 3 came out.
Yeah, there was a bunch. Anyway, so out of all of the wonderfully shot, beautifully cinematic scenes in this film, what was your favorite one?
I mean, the whole thing.
Okay, pick a scene.
Well, I mean, I don't know, what was the first really terrible thing he did?
Which one? I don't.
The warden.
There was a lot. I mean, he did the waterboarding with scalding water.
Let's go with that. Because, I mean, the whole movie...
I mean, it melted the guy's
worked
face.
For me. Because the first one was absolutely terrible, and I said I'm never going to watch anything by this guy ever again. And then you talked me into watching the second one. I could not turn down the offer when you said there's the third one. And
the second one was worse, and the third one was even worse.
And it's not like I could be disappointed in myself, because I'm happy I watched these.
Okay. Let's see. if I had to pick my favorite thing, it has to be one of the facts that I gave, that the main character, the warden, is played by the guy who played the doctor in the first one. And he has naturally a strong German accent because he's German and doesn't know much English. So they had to give him a line at a time and kind of like translate it for him so that, and he tried to put on a Texas accent to be a Texas warden with his German accent, and it was so awful that any real filmmaker would have said, this isn't going to work. We need to hire someone that can do a Texas accent. But because of what this movie was and how jarring the Texas accent filtered through a German accent sounded, the writer slash co-star, well, guest star in the movie, Tom Six slash director, he was like, no, this is actually perfect for it. And I get it because of my sense of humor, and I think it's awesome that it's a Texas accent, but through the filter of a really thick German accent.
Oh yeah, it's really hard to understand most of what he's saying.
Oh yeah, and I think that's hilarious.
I think it took like a second time through because I've seen this a couple of times because it was on Netflix for a while. It took a couple of times to understand everything he was saying.
Even if you put on...
And it's worth it.
If you put on the subtitles, I guarantee some of it has just question marks. Like,
yeah.
You tell me. That wasn't an actual fact. That was me mocking. But,
oh, yeah.
Okay, what was your least favorite scene?
My least favorite? I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw the old guy's penis. And I didn't need that.
Sure. I mean, I get it, but, like, it's weird that you draw the line there considering all the things he did. I mean, he forced his secretary to do favors for him. He, melted someone's face off with boiling water.
But violence is okay for me.
He removed the
Shriveled
Mexican
up, crazy
gangbanger's
German
testicle and
guy.
ate it.
I didn't need to see his penis.
There was a jar of circumcised clitori from women in Africa that was dehydrated, dried, and he was eating them by the handful. And your problem was seeing a quick shot of Wang.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
My least favorite part... Wow. My least favorite part, I'm going to say, would be the things he forced his secretary to do.
I get that.
Just because, yes, it showed you how evil he was, and I get that. But my God. Out of everything he did, it's like, no. This is this is 2018 and hashtag Me Too. Like, that's not okay.
2015.
Well, fine. It is now, I'm saying. And looking at it through the eyes of...
A millennial?
Sure. No, I was going to say through the eyes of, a woke person.
Hashtag woke.
Anyway, yeah, I would say that was probably my least favorite thing. Just because. Him sharing the jar of snacks was less offensive to me than that.
But even then, it fits his character and it fits this movie.
And
so
he's supposed to be 100% evil, and he is, and I get it, but no. Ugh.
I don't know, I feel like a terrible person about to say this, but...
Then probably don't.
I was going to say, I can't
If you
complain.
actually feel bad...
I can't complain that they included that in the movie just because...
As part of his horrible character.
Because
I get it.
So I'm not going to...
But if I had to pick my least favorite thing...
It's not that you saw his penis. I see. You liked seeing his penis. On with the show. So you can email us.
Actually, no. If you had to rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10, and here's where you really stick your neck out, what would you rate it?
I'd have to give it... I'd even say it was better than the first two.
Okay.
So I'd give it like an 8. Because I think I gave them both a 7.
I don't even remember. It's been a while.
I'm going to give it an 8.5 just because I thought it was absolutely amazing. Everything in this movie is very bad. and you should never watch it, which is why I say you should go and see this movie as soon as you can.
Sure. If you don't have a sick, twisted sense of humor, do not watch this film. That's all I can say. Like, I do, and I enjoy the trilogy.
If you want a real reason to complain on the internet about something, watch this.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, did you hear what Trump said? I don't know. Did you see what that dude did? Like, yeah, so I'm going to give it, the acting was better in the first two, I think, but the story was more
And that was
despicable.
purposeful.
That was, I guess, but I don't know. I'm just going to go with a 7, which is a pretty high rating for the content, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, but again, I like the first two better. This one did have some worse stuff in it, but I just, you know.
And that's why I like it better. Because he promised and then followed through with it.
But that doesn't necessarily make it better. It just means he did what he said he was going to do. But anyway, not really the point.
But that's not the point.
So, is there anything else you want to say about this masterpiece before we
Definitely go and see it. And if you didn't leave after our, third or fourth warning in the show, that's on you. You went through with watching it. You heard the terrible things we said. You heard the terrible things he did. You heard me not empathize for you.
Yeah,
and
like, only watch this movie if you have a really sick sense of humor, and if you do, don't complain that you watched it, because we told you only if. So don't be one of those that says, I have a sense of humor, and then gets all offended. Because if you get all offended, you don't have a sense of humor.
If you got offended from the trailer, don't watch this movie.
We just watched something today where Colin Quinn, the actor / comedian, mostly comedian, said something about, there's things that offend me, but I don't complain when other people say them. And he was called out. It's like, what offends you? He goes, fine, bad example. Because he doesn't actually get offended. That's the whole point.
Right. And you shouldn't either. So if you do, or if you did because of this, email us at gorystorytime@yahoo.com.
And we won't respond because we don't care.
Or we will read it aloud on the show.
Yes.
And mock you viciously. And we don't care. We might not say your name, but if you say we can, we definitely will.
Oh, yeah, we wouldn't use anyone's names without permission, even if they're, angry with us.
Oh, yeah.
Just because we don't need to
But we'll make sure you know we know who you are.
Yes, something like that. Anyway, so...
You can watch the show on Fact TV Thursdays at 8:30 and Fridays at 7 p.m.
Maybe not this one. Who knows? They might try to adjust it because, just because of what we're talking about.
I mean, we are live on Facebook most likely right now. So
yes.
Yeah,
we are fine.
Live on Facebook.
But that's why I gave the warning up front, because I knew that was probably the case.
Right.
And you can email us at gorystorytime@yahoo.com for any questions, complaints, suggestions. We are coming up on our 100th episode, and there will be a small break after 99, because for our 100th episode, we plan on trying to do something big. And in between, we're going to have some Gory Storytime bonus episodes.
Actually scary movies.
Where Jason is going to review
something.
We're not going to tell you ahead of time. But Colin, who works here at the station, knows exactly what it is. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. Plus, there's some other things that we do want to do for episode 100. We want to do a top 10 list of our favorite movies we've reviewed. All these little things that'll make it like a longer special or something.
Something bigger than an hour.
That's going to take getting off my butt and actually trying to work out times with these guys to try to get stuff done too, and getting a hold of people that.
Which is why we started at episode 80.
Anyway, so. When after episode 99, there will be a pause from our regular show, but you will be here doing an episode a week for the next few weeks anyway, giving us time to work on the other things while you do something that I'll be less hands-on with.
Yeah.
Put it that way. What else? We have our Twitters. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
I'm at Jason T. Jakes, capital J, capital T, capital J. We don't talk about the show.
Yeah, you can follow Gory Storytime on Facebook. Just search for Gory Storytime. I just posted some new memes. One from the first movie of this yesterday. It
Because
took a while
we
to
knew
find
we
a
were
good
doing
picture
this.
that actually fit what I wanted to say, because most of the pictures
A
didn't
picture
show.
you would be allowed to post on Facebook.
Yeah, well, no, most of the pictures didn't show the actual human centipede, and I'm like, well, that's not, huh? I know.
Okay, then.
But anyway, was there anything else?
Like Fact TV on Facebook, but you have if you're watching this right now.
If you're watching it live, if not,
Right.
and you're watching it on television, then you can like them. And I'd like to give a special shout out to the First Amendment, because without that, there wouldn't be that,
Without that, we wouldn't be able to talk about this movie.
or have the movie exist.
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, other countries outright banned the first one, let alone the sequels.
Yeah.
So, all right, I guess we finally finished the trilogy. So,
Until there's a fourth one. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig,
And sweet dreams.